season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports.
He will return this from deep in the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled it to 20.
They begin this drive with Chubb, and he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
Well, this defense for the Texans, they played extremely well last week in the win over Atlanta.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback,
he's got a man, complete?
And he'll be brought down at the 27.
Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They went zooming past that number there. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2.
The Browns at 7-3 now on the year, and they've been in a great groove. Winners of 7 of their last 10 now on the year.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
On 2nd and 12, Watson under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Christian Harris there finding his way home to record the sack.
They're going to need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal?
Hey, 31! Get it going down, he's coming.
They'll set up a throw. Under pressure, they got him again.
Credit Corey Littleton blowing that play up.
On 4th down, on is Corey Bajorquez to punt. Desmond King back deep. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback.
Okay, ready?
On 1st down, here's Stroud. Finds his man, it's John Mechie.
And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
1st and 10, it's Stroud. This ball caught by Mechie.
And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. He's been a one-man wrecking crew these last couple of plays. This time 18 more and a 1st down.
And they'll go play action here with Stroud.
Steps away. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. Over 30 yards there, and 1st downs on 3 consecutive plays now.
Well, partner, that's how you make a long drive suddenly not so long anymore. One big play, and they're already in field goal range with designs on getting more than that.
So a big play as it gets them all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10.
First run of the game here for Dameon Pierce.
And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Gets a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Now Stroud. Swings this one out wide for Pierce. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. The linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
On third down, here's Pierce.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
A great job there by this defense. They give up the long drive, but in the end, it looks like they'll force a field goal attempt.
Here we go. Practice, stick.
Fourth down, Stroud going to try to throw for it.
And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there with touchdown number 8 on the year.
And the Texans' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Working with 2nd and 5 now.
Up the middle, it's Chubb. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. They picked up 5 yards last time, now they double it and get 10 here.
We used to work relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Now we'll play fake, and it's Watson. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Watson.
He'll find Schwartz complete right side. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
Even against double coverage, he found enough of an opening for a noticeable gain. 2 guys on him, yet he finds a way to uncover downfield for the completion.
Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first.
Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3.
So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number one. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
He rifles one that's intercepted.
Picked off by Grant Delpit. And the Browns are going to take possession of the football.
CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Right back to him on first down. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Watson.
Quick throw, and he's got Amari Cooper. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Watson escaping the pressure right. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Here's Watson. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Amari Cooper, an 18-yard touchdown grab.
And the Browns have taken the lead. Extra point by York is up and good.
And the lead is now 10-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first.
Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted.
Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Browns are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. So they tried to take the deep shot there, but this defense up to the task.
And a lot of times when you air a ball out like this, if it does get intercepted, there's going to be a lot of space out there to set up a return. And remember, you've got 5 big offensive linemen out there playing on their feet in open space. Not a skill most of them possess that allows for extra yardage on the return.
Second down, here's Chubb again.
And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts, as he'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Off of play action, it's Watson. He's going to fire one deep over the middle.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Derek Stingley picks it. And the Texans are going to have it here just past the 25. And, Charles, that's now 4 interceptions over his last 3 halves of football, because, remember, he threw 3 picks last week.
Starting to wonder if maybe defenses and those coordinators have identified something on tape with what he's doing. Maybe a movement, maybe the way he's moving his shoulders. Who knows what it could be? He could have a few tells out there that they're keying in on and allowing defenses to get to the football a little bit faster. People steal signals. Maybe sometimes they can figure out what the quarterback's doing just by his movements.
Ready, ready.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. Man open, that's complete to Dalton Schultz.
Working with a 2nd and 3. A second down throw now from Stroud.
Man open, here is Jones. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1.
First down, Houston.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Stroud to the air on 1st and 10.
This is caught. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, he just did the tip of the ball across the plane. It's not going to get there.
And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans.
Dameon Pierce.
As the first half is winding down.
And the Texans have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half.
Fairbairn good with the extra point. And the lead is now 14-10.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
The Browns drive about to get started.
And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and get some type of pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. Desmond King to return it from his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And despite the turnovers, Charles, and they had multiple in that first half, they still have the lead as they begin this third quarter.
And they probably heard some conflicting tones at the half, don't you think? A lot of praise for what they did to get this lead, but also a little bit of scolding because they got to take better care of the football in the second half. But you and I both know the great leaders, they know how to give that little bit of vinegar in there and cover it with a big dose of honey.
Now a deep ball going to be caught here near midfield. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. It's a gain of 34.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver. And as this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
First and 10, and he fumbled it. It's on the ground, and I think the Browns got it. They did.
So we thought maybe they would have a chance to extend this lead on the opening drive of the second half. Instead, they cough it up.
Obviously not an ideal start when you're trying to get a little separation, and I can guarantee that they talked about that in the locker room. Let's get out there, start this quarter the right way. Let's try and put some points on the board and create some space.
And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory.
47 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Here's Watson. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that's going to be caught from Browns. Touchdown.
So a very strong first drive in the second half, Charles, as they turn that halftime deficit into a third quarter lead.
And they were pretty purposeful there, weren't they? Measured in their approach. But boy, they executed awfully well, moving the ball down the field.
Is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
King going to look to bring it out. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
Charles, you got to think the number one goal here is ball security. Remember, last drive they coughed it up, then they allowed the touchdown, and now they're trailing on the scoreboard.
Boy, the way you described it makes me think that that one actually hurt them 3 times. The fumble cost them potential points. Then they watched their opponent get a touchdown off of the fumble. And third, they lost the lead as a result. Really tough sequence right there. I don't think coaches have to remind them to hold on to the football. They've just got to find a way to get it done.
Well, they get to Stroud, nowhere to go, and he goes down.
That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up third.
Here we go.
Stroud here on 3rd and long.
He's going to float this one deep right side.
They intercept Stroud again, the 3rd time in this game. Picked off by Greg Newsome.
Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
After the interception, here's Watson. And he fires Here's one that's intercepted.
Derek Stingley picks it. And the Texans are going to take possession of the football. Well, their defense got him the football with an interception. They trot out there, Charles, at the very first play. They give the football right back.
Brandon, I almost expect you coming like an auctioneer. We've got two. Do I hear three? Remember, it was 2 in a row. Would we hit 3 in a row? Because these offenses, they got to be a little bit more careful as they go forward. These defenders, they're locked in and really focused.
And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Myles Garrett able to record his 5th sack of the season. They're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
Stroud now on 2nd down.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
All right, Charles, we've spoken about this offense plenty, how great they've been all year. 9-0 now, into the back half of the season. Super Bowl favorites, without a doubt. I think everyone agrees on that. What do you think is the thing that most stands between them and a perfect season?
I think it's themselves. I think it's their team, how they approach things, how they conduct themselves during the week, practicing, getting ready, and then going out and playing. Can't take your foot off the gas pedal at this stage. Doesn't matter if it's a weak team you're playing or not. Look, when I talk with one of the best golfers of all time, he told me he never played against the field. He just played against himself and his own standard.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Good action to this point in the 3rd quarter. Just a 3-point game. 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, it's Stroud.
Quick hitter here. It's complete.
And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Here goes Stroud again.
This will be caught at about the 5. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 60 catches for him now on the year. This last one, a 1st down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game.
And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown.
Dameon Pierce. That's rushing touchdown number 20 on the year. And the Texans have retaken a 3rd quarter lead. So another rushing touchdown for him this year. Boy, he's found the end zone quite a bit so far. Charles, that now an even 20 scores on the season.
And you know how often we use the term, probably I overuse the term, imposing their will? Well, these defenses have become really powerless to stop him. That's what we've seen from him and his team this year. You know he's getting the ball down here in the red zone, but he's just got that strength of will himself, and he's used it to great effect.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
This will be returned from deep in the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
Well, this offense trying to change the script here a little bit, CD. Trailing on the scoreboard, and the last time out on the very first play of the drive, they threw that interception.
And you definitely saw his coaches, teammates come over to him on the sideline, trying to help him shake it off, because in this game, his team is down right now. So it's important to make sure you get some confidence back for both the quarterback and the entire offense. Otherwise, those mistakes could continue to pile up.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Watson now to throw. And this one's incomplete.
Understanding he's just down one possession, trying to make something happen by extending the play, but the coverage downfield was excellent. He escaped and bought some time, but that one goes incomplete.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Faking the give. Now Watson. He's got his man, Valdez-Scantling. And he's going to be out of bounds all the way down inside the 15. A big connection on that one. 74 yards. We know he's good at catching the football, but then after the catch, he's got escapability.
Not only that, he's got some toughness as well, because you know he's coached very hard to make sure he battles through, breaks tackles, and then they finish with, but don't fumble the football.
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11.
Now Watson. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
This carry brought to an end at the 8. Good stick skills, but not much room to operate. Just a couple there on the 2nd down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. He couldn't get away there on 3rd down. The pressure too much, and he's sacked for a loss of 12.
York able to send this one through,
and that'll bring him back within a point. So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. I guess the good news as they start this drive is that they still do have the lead, Charles. If their defense hadn't been able to hold them to a field goal on the other side, they'd be down. But now it's about preserving that very small lead.
It is preserving and maybe stretching it out a little bit. Because if you're a starter on that side of the ball, I certainly hope you didn't loosen up your shoulder pads or start to cut the tape off. Because if you did it way too soon. They've got to go back out there with renewed vigor, for lack of a better term, and also a good plan. They need points, and they need them now.
50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a 1st down.
Here's Pierce on the counter.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
This ball caught by Mechie.
And they're going to have another 1st down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 38-yard line. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another 1st. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 38.
Hand off right side to Pierce.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. And they're going to have another 1st down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns' 23. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another 1st.
Pierce gets this one running right.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. It's so close. He gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
They'll run here with Pierce.
And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning.
Ready up.
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal.
He'll try again. And he's going to lose yardage again as he is stuck behind the line.
And this defense here going to burn their 2nd timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning.
Okay.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal.
They'll try to run with Pierce.
And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Give him a couple on the run there, and now they're in that in-between area here on 4th and goal. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
Julio Jones, the lone receiver left.
4th down. Here's Stroud.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted.
Picked up by Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And the Browns are going to get the ball back on the turnover. They hold on 4th and goal.
The Browns drive about to get started. And after the field goal last time, see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Chubb on the counter. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Here's Watson. Got an open man. It's Schwartz. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. Watson.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Whew, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
To throw, Watson.
That ball is caught. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They go up the middle with Chubb. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead. They'll run with Chubb. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. Now a timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. They'll give it to Chubb. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
At this stage, you've got to hustle. You've got to get back to the line of scrimmage because you're saving that timeout to make sure you have a chance to get your kicker out there for the big shot.
And they're going to get the timeout called. What a finish. We're down to 4 seconds to go in this football game. Well, the entire game coming down to this kick from Cade York. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. So now this one's going to rest on the foot of their 2nd-year kicker. 2 for 2 on the afternoon, and a 3rd would win it. And it's off the left upright. Oh, my goodness. Heartache. It's no good. And that'll keep this a 1-point game. Well, Charles, coaches always talk after losses about putting that behind you and moving on. But in a case like this, when you could have won it with a chip shot field goal and you miss it, that is going to sting for a little while, isn't it?
Some are tougher to put behind you than others, right? We always talk about...
We spent your whole life trying to blow up, but Elohim never had time for donuts. The beat go ham, no time for cold cuts. The game like Big Fish came to join up. Yeah, I'm still independent. They sold 1 million records. Yeah, used to be on my checklist. Big diamonds don't need a necklace. Look, we built the sound like it's double speed Tetris. I cannot build without God in it. We built the sound, you can't copy this. I never brag, it's just confidence. I never rap for your compliments. I wrote this one for the indie grind. If you ain't signed on the dotted line, can't buy my soul with no dollar signs. The industry so full of troglodytes. I don't follow trends. Run it up. Say that with my chest. Run it up. No, I will not bend. Run it up. Game time in it. Game time. I don't follow trends. Say that with my chest. No, I will not bend. Game time. Run it up. 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 You got